There you go. Mile marker 107 on Canadian Pacific's Estevan sub between Kemnay on the main line and Estevan. This should have been called Elevator Avenue, but this is Railway Avenue looking west-northwest. This Wednesday morning about 9 o'clock, July 20th, 2016, and we're at Glen Ewen, Saskatchewan. Looking back east-southeast after almost a decade of promises, service finally began on this line on February 19th, 1892, as far as Oxbow anyway. The elevators stood between the town and the railway tracks. There was 5 of them altogether right in the foreground here. The station stood on the other side of the tracks over there at mile 107.2. It was a standard number 5 station raised in 1907-08 and stood until 1972. Elevators stood right along in here. Western Grain was up by 1897. There was Lake of the Woods, International Elevator Company, Canadian Elevator Company, all closed by the year 2000. Herb Ferguson's pool room and shaving parlor anchored the far end of the business district at the end of the block there. There was all false fronts along here. The grand old balcony 2-story frame-built Imperial Hotel stood on the corner there, built in 1905, burned up in 2007. A 2-story frame-built store stood on this corner here. The upstairs part was used as a hall, very cold. This looks like it could be the facade from the upper store. It was a busy little district back in the 1890s, 1900s with a Northern Crown Bank, stores, shops, dealerships. The post office was established on November the 1st, 1890 by Thomas Ewen in the farmhouse of his homestead, about 2 miles to the northwest of here. It was moved into town by T.R. Preston, probably in 1898. Oh, busted. I hope they don't bite. Along this street was a harness maker, tinsmith, shoe repair, livery barn. Glen Ewen was incorporated as a village on March 24th, 1904, in the district of Assiniboia in Canada's Northwest Territories. There's the modern hotel, and C.R. Wilson is heading uptown. The golf course was open in 1930, but it's abandoned. Oh, a nice collection. There was a Massey Harris dealership in town, International Harvester, John Deere, Minneapolis Moline, McCormick, Cockshot for sure, and likely Oliver, fueled by North Star and White Rose stations here in town. And Atkinson House, I believe, which was moved into town in 1913. School District number 506 was formed locally in 1899. First classes were in a church. 2-room school was built in 1902. In 1908, a 2-story brick-built 2-classroom edifice stood on the site. In the census year of 2016, there's 154 folks in Glen Ewen. They enjoy their parks. And they converted a new school built in 1966 to the community center. Since 1989, the kids have just busted 12 kilometers west to Oxbow and 17 kilometers east to Cardiff to school. And that, in a nutshell, is Glen Ewen's history. Built in 1981 is the curling rink. Looks like an arena has been added since then. The longest lasting church in town was St. Angus's Presbyterian, built in 1908 and closed in 1956. One of the old halls, I think. Both St. Angus and the church that the Anglicans built in 1910, Holy Trinity, long disappeared. I don't know whether they were the victims to the great fires that burned through Glen Ewen or not. In November of 1945, a conflagration wiped out quite a few buildings on the town site, but the bad fire occurred on November 16th, 1937, when much of the central business district was wiped out, including the town office and all the historical records. Glen Ewen, Saskatchewan.